As promised, it is time to review tonight's edition of the Old School Raw, coming to us from Chocolate and Zit Country, Hershey, Pennsylvania. We started off tonight with the combination of Raw sets that really, I thought the Raw set was all right, you know? They had the big RAW, they had the Attitude Era, kind of like two side by side things with the old WWE logo, and they had the Attitude Era kind of Titantron as well. So it was a cool set. I enjoyed that. Uh, Basically, Mean Gene Okerlund interviews Bob Orton, and then Wade Barrett interrupts, and then he's like, "I'm gonna beat Randy Orton for the title, but I don't know you old guys jack shit because I'm on my own, and I can beat you unconscious, Bob, and you better tell Randy to get ready for me." And then the Miz, which Michael Cole started running his fucking dick liquor, he was all like, he was sucking it really, really hard for the Miz, and he was saying the same shit. Oh, if I beat you and blah, 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 I'm going to cash in my contract. No one gave a shit about that because he's always said the same shit. And basically, Miz and John Cena were supposed to be wrestling tonight. And then we go to our first match of the night, Dolph Ziggler with Chunky, Don't Call Me Peanut Butter Guerrero versus Is Sexual, baby. Mark Henry. This was all right. It was okay. Dolph Ziggler got a few punches in, and he tried to go for the sleeper hold. Henry threw him out of the ring. Henry knocked him down with a clothesline and avoided yet another sleeper. And Ziggler basically later on in the match hit a big splash and a leg drop facebuster for a 2 count, then got the zigzag, and then got another sleeper, and then Mark Henry was out of it. And then D.H. Smith and Tyson Kidd were backstage, and then Tony Atlas was just rambling on and on and on and on and on about shit. And then he was putting WD 40 on his arms. And then we come back from commercial break, and Yoshitatsu's warming up and doing shit. And then he stabs himself with an imaginary sword while Tony is still rambling on and on and on about shit. That was kind of funny. Heath Slater, Justin Gabriel versus the Heartfuckers. You know the angle here. Tyson Kidd actually turned on D.H. Smith. Justin Gabriel hit the 450 for the win, and Tyson Kidd has turned heel. So now it's going to be interesting to see where it goes. And then Gene Okerlund is backstage with the Ortons, and then he gets interrupted by R-Truth. And he's like, man, Cena knew what he was doing last week, and he doesn't have a choice because Cena wants to be free. And then Orton's like, well, I'm going to kick him in the fucking head. And then we got the Brooklyn Brawler versus Ahmed Johnson. Oh, sorry, Ezekiel Jackson. Squash match. Uranagi Slam for the win. Brooklyn Brawler does the JOB on TV. And then Otungas is in the back talking about, yeah, I'm the leader of Nexus. I'm the shit. I'm all that. Wade Barrett's like, excuse me, motherfucker. And then, he was like, nothing, man. And then Miz cut a promo talking about thinks Cena is ahead of him and all that shit. And then John Cena versus Alex Riley. John Cena beat the shit out of Alex Riley, won the match. Didn't nobody really care. It was your typical Cena match. Then we're going to have Randy Orton and John Cena on Piper's Pit. And then the Iron Sheik and Santino and Nikolai Volkov and all these guys have a promo. Basically, Kozlov was singing the Russian national anthem. No one really gave a shit about this. And here we go with Santino and Kozlov versus the Usos. This was okay. Basically it was all right. But why the fuck did the Usos have to do the job? Jimmy Snuka was out there. I wanted the Usos to do something and, become number one contenders to the tag titles. That mean absolutely jack shit. Santino hit the Cobra, and then, they win the match, and then Sheamus comes out, and then fucking John Morrison comes out and saves Santino like he's been doing. And now these guys are going to have a match at Survivor Series. By the way, does anyone give a shit about Survivor Series? Thought so. David Otunga versus Kofi Kingston. Long story short, Otunga got his ass whooped. Kofi Kingston hit the Trouble in Paradise for the win. And then Sheamus hit the bro kick backstage on John Morrison. And then Arn Anderson was like, get the fuck out of here. And then basically they did this little skit backstage with the $1 million title. It was kind of cool to see Dusty Rhodes, Cody Rhodes, and all these guys come together. And then Ted DiBiase Sr. got the $1 million belt. And then Cody Rhodes walks up to Goldust and he's like, man, that wasn't dashing. And then Goldust is like, how about you teach me how to be grooming? And then Dusty's like, man, I raised some really weird kids with a blonde wig on his head. And then one of the moments of the night, damn. And then we got R-Truth versus Wade Barrett. Wade Barrett won. And then we got King and Cole. You know, tonight they did this stupid ass shit where they tried to pay homage to Vince McMahon and Bobby Heenan and Jesse Ventura by doing, welcome everyone to Monday Night Raw. That kind of shit. No one gave a shit about that either. As nostalgic as it was, no one cared. Then Tito Santana came out and announced the wannabe JBL, but Chavo Classic was driving Del Rio's car. That was amazing. And then Sergeant Slaughter versus Alberto Del Rio. Del Rio got the win basically by kicking Slaughter across the back of the head, and it was over. And then Mean Gene basically this was the moment of the night. Mean Gene announces Mae Young coming out in ring gear with a Bella Twin on each arm. And then Mean Gene is like, Mae, you're very sexy. And then Lay Cool comes out and cuts them off, and then they take a whole bunch of cheap shots at Mae Young. And then here's the moment of the night. Mae Young got pissed, and she said, bitches, on a PG show. She said, bitches, let's go. And then it was a no disqualification match. And then Mae Young powerbombed. Like, Mae Young basically bitch slapped Lay Cool, beat the shit out of him, and then Mae Young won. And then here we go with the match of the night, mark out moment of the night. JR came back, and it was Daniel Bryan versus Jack Swagger. The match was good, but it wasn't even as important as the play-by-play. Long story short, Michael Cole was like, hey, mention me, talk about me, it's about me, suck it, talk about me, suck my wang. And JR every time was like, well, look at this kid, Bryan Danielson, he's got something within him, and look at that, he had a drop kick, all that shit. And basically what happened was Daniel Bryan got the win. And then JR slapped the shit out of Michael Cole, which was fucking amazing. I would love to see them make a program out of this, but I know they're probably not going to do it. And then the end of the night, Cena actually put on a Nexus shirt, and he just FU'd a couple people. Basically, here's what happened. Cena laid out Orton with the AA. He wore a Nexus shirt. Finally, thank you WWE for giving us that. We wanted that now since the day before. Bless me. We have wanted that now since the day before forever. But next week, what's going to happen is Cena's either going to be reinstated or he'll, be free. Now I'd like to take a couple minutes and say, Survivor Series, is anyone really giving a shit about this pay-per-view? I don't plan on watching it. I don't even plan on doing predictions for this because I feel as though this pay-per-view has been a very piss-poor build-up. It has not been all that great. Tonight, we had the Zamario on the People's Perspective. That's a show we do on Monday nights. What we're going to try to do is get it up on WrestlingRevolution.com in the future so you people can check it out. It's me, Jericho Holic, and we just go off usually sometimes about Raw. Sometimes we don't even talk about Raw if it was such shit. So definitely, I'm going to plug HDTV Wrestling and the Zamario in this video. Big shout out to the both of them. Go check them out. Um, but yeah, getting back to my point, do you guys give a shit about Survivor Series this Sunday? I don't. My advice to you is don't even spend your 45 fucking dollars watching it. It's going to be garbage. Edge and Kane will probably be the highlight of the night. Cena with Wade Barrett and Randy Orton. No one gives a shit about the WWE title. Team Mysterio versus Team Del Rio. Good match, but where's the real build up behind it? Survivor Series is looking like a piss poor card. I wouldn't order it really at all. And about old school Raw tonight, if you were going to ask me to really rate it, I would say, it was okay, but it wasn't one of the greatest. It was all right, but it wasn't good either. It was one of those shows where it's like it didn't suck, but it wasn't good. It was one of those shows that was okay to average at best, and you're not really going to remember this Raw within a couple months' time. You'll remember a couple of things about it, but you're not going to remember this Raw as a whole. In terms of the nostalgia factor, it's there. They went there, they accomplished their goal, but you're not going to really remember this Raw next week. But overall, I would check out Mae Young, JR. Those would be my highlights. And Alberto Del Rio, with Tito Santana. That was kind of cool. I enjoyed that. But other than that, this Raw to me was really nothing all that special, to tell you the truth. And I'm sorry, it wasn't. Um, and that's my review. I will see you guys later. Peace the fuck out.